Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. What are we up to today? Today I just wanted to put out a quick video here of, I'm going to build an engine. And yeah, we're just going to build a quick modular engine, just a 3x3. And then I just want to go over how I did the stabilizer thingy. The LUA, we're going to do a little bit of LUA today. Okay, so we have our 3 cylinders. What we need to do is just exhaust them, right? Like this. All right, and then we need to have 4 radiators. If you have the room, I don't know if I can leave them like that, but anyways. All right, and then we need the modular. We need these manifold coolants, all right? 2 of those, and then we need the air manifold. Let's turn this off. Air manifold, and then of course we need our fuel. And then I'll just plot down just a couple of tanks here. Obviously we have lots of fuel. Plenty to play with. Yeah, all right, well, let's just before I get all the pumps going. Okay, we need that, and then probably what we'll need is a flywheel here. And that helps start the engine. And then we need the clutch. We need the 3x3 on here because it's a 3x3 engine. Perfect, just like that. So that is our engine. All right, now we need our pumps. Okay, and the same thing in, out, whatever. Oh, you know what? Here, let's do that. All right, and then I think this goes that way. Is that right? Fluid in? Yeah, okay. We'll turn this off. What do I need? I need pipes. Here, we'll do this, and this gas relief valve. All right. Yeah, so one thing I've noticed that with Stormworks, once you got your engine, okay, and you start clutching with your engine, what happens? Your RPS either dives or it cranks. And when it cranks, what happens? Well, a couple of things. We get too much power on the flywheel. So when you put the vehicle in gear, it tends to shoot away really fast and all that kind of stuff, right? That causes damages and whatever else. Yeah, and let's see. On the opposite spectrum, all right. When you slow down, I think I just said when you slow down. Sorry, I'm just doing this here. That's right. When you slow down, when you speed up, your RPS tends to drop, and then you end up having to, for me anyways, it might be different for other people, but I notice that a lot of times, not with the jet engines, but definitely with these engines, I end up having to adjust the clutch and the throttle independently. So if I want to have 50% clutch, let's say, and I'm cranking my, you know what I mean? I tend to have that, whatever that setting is. Why? I don't know. I mean, maybe I should just run the clutch at full speed and then only adjust the throttle, you know, or run the clutch at half speed and only adjust the throttle. Maybe that's the way, the ideal way to run an engine in Stormworks. I'm not too sure. But anyway, so those are the issues that I've been having. When I speed up, the RPS drops, and then I end up having to crank up the engine. And when I slow down, the RPS goes too fast. And the engine really heats up and it really starts to crank, all right? So, just need a couple of batteries. One battery will probably work. Oh, and then we also need a Okay, so we need a 3x3 belt on here, and then we need starters. Let's see here. All right, and then let's put a couple alternators on here just so we can recharge the single battery. All right, so what you're looking at is a complete engine, just like that. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's it. That's all it takes to build a modular engine. We have our coolant, which comes from our radiators, and our heat, right? And then from here we can run this, like whatever. Let's see here. Put the propeller on there, just so we can see that it is clutching. All right, then what we need is a function block, and then in the function block, it's the same thing. We need to go x times 0.5. All right, and then that is going to connect to the fuel manifold. And now we need a couple of things. We need a constant number for the alternator, and we need a keypad. Let's see, we need a keypad for the clutch, and we need a throttle. Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could use the throttle for that. I don't necessarily need the throttle, but we'll throttle the clutch, and then this here is going to be our RPS. So this will not go into there. And then we need our constant number, just like that. All right, and that constant number can be 1, I guess. All right, and then we need a starter button as well. We need a starter button, and we need a systems button. So I just use a constant on signal because this is an example. It doesn't matter. All right, and then we're going to get into doing a little bit of LUA. Okay, so we need a blank microcontroller. So I just type in blank. I have this blank microcontroller here. Alrighty, and let's get to it. So what we need first, we need a couple of things. So we need the clutch coming in, right? This is going to be a number, and this will be engine speed in. Okay, and then this is going to be a number, and this will be our output, and this will be our RPS. Oh. Do we need RPS? No, this is going to be our engine heat, actually. So I guess we're going to composite in. And because RPS we can run directly to the not a toggle button, heat. Is that right? Oh no, I already got that. Sorry, RPS. Oh, I guess I don't need this one here. Yeah, RPS we can get directly from the flywheel. So we just need the engine speed in, and then I guess we can go heat out. And then we need another one here. This is going to be our output, and this is going to be out the engine. Just like that. All right, perfect. So then we're going to go inside here, and I'm pretty sure that heat is channel 3. I'm pretty sure. So we can say channel 3, just like that. Okay, now we need a LUA block. All right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to need a composite right number. So we can bring this number in. We're going to need 2 numbers, actually. We need our custom engine speed, and then we also need to read the engine RPS, which is right here, because we're going to be comparing the 2, right? So channel 2, Let's make custom channel 2, and let's make RPS channel 1. And then that is going to go to composite write read number, and then we're just going to output that on, I can just output channel 1. Simple as that. So that's basically that. So let's get to it. Let's get to the writing of the code. I wanted to do, I've been doing all this trading, right? And I'm like, man, I want to break it up. So I'm just going to put out this little video here that's like building, just doing a little bit of Lua. I know. I've been doing lots of programming and stuff too. I've been busy the last couple of days, but I thought, hey, you know what? Let's do this, all right? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to say input dot get number. All right, and so what we need is we need to say engine, and then we need to say let's copy that, and this is custom, right? It could be ship, it could be whatever, it could be whatever. And this is channel 2, and this is channel 1. And then we can say if engine is greater than custom, C-U-S-T-O-M. My keyboard here is not, I spilled too much coffee on it. If S is greater, oops, I spelled that wrong, should be that. If engine, what's going on here? E-N-G-I-N-E is greater than custom, then let me just see. All right, let's save. No, I don't want to save this. I want to update that, and I just want to save this as just a test engine. We'll do that. And what I want to do is I just want to load. I want to load this, and I want to take a look at how not the autopilot. This one here. I just want to see real quickly how we did that here. Oh, I use an up-down counter. Oh, okay, I see. That's it. Just like that. True, false, true, false. All right, so that's how we're going to do it. So let's load this, and let's continue to do this together. All right. So if engine is greater than custom, then we have input, we have output dot set output output dot set number, and then we're going to set that on channel. Actually, no, I didn't. I made it true and false. So I went output dot set bool. Okay, and then we have one true. So if the engine is greater than the custom, we need the engine speed to slow down. So this is going to be false because channel 1 is going to go up and channel 2 is going to go down. All right? So now we need to do this, and we need to set that output to true. Now these don't change, just like that. Attempt to compare two nil values. If engine attempt to where's line 8? That's this here. Oh, whoops. And probably that, right? There we go. Right. So in order to get these numbers, they have to be part of the same function. All right. And so what we can do is we can do this, and we can just copy this, and we can paste that, and then we just switch this around. This becomes true, and this becomes false. And this is important because once you send out a true signal on channel 1, it's constantly true, and the only way to change it is to set it back. You have to set it back to false, right? And now this one here is going to be like that. So if the engine RPS is smaller than the custom RPS, we need to crank up that engine RPS. Okay? So this is going to change, and what we actually need is we need the read on off. Channel 1 and channel 2. Okay? Connect those, and then we need an up-down counter. Why is that important? Well, one can go up, and then what we need to do is we need to clamp the value so that way it stops at our maximum. Our maximum value is going to be, I think I had it at 0.5, but we could say 1. Here, let me, I want to save this. I'm going to update this. Let me save this. Let me see what I have it set to in the ship, because I know I have two different settings. I have one setting for the truck, and then I have one setting for the ship, and this one seemed to work really well. Half. Okay. All right. So we'll take this. We'll do that. So it was 0.5 is our maximum. Oh, so I'm only running at half throttle. Interesting. Maybe I should change that. I guess it doesn't matter. And then I think I went 0.1. Either 0.1 or 0.01. So this here, this maximum, this can actually be tweaked. I didn't think about that. I just thought, oh, we can change the RPS in the engine. That explains why I'm only getting 38 kilometers an hour. If I change that to 1 in the ship, then I'll be able to get a lot more out of the engine. But remember, when you get a lot more out of the engine, you burn a lot more fuel. So your fuel, above 20 RPS, your fuel consumption goes out the window. Basically, it does. Yeah, so that's what I found sort of with these engines. This kind of keeps it stable, but with the bigger engines, you can crank this up a little bit more. All right, well, that explains a lot. Okay, so then this goes out to the engine, and our increment is 0.1, I believe. Let me double check the ship, just to make sure the increment is right, because one of them was too fast. Okay, 0.01 is what we want here. 0.01 is the number. So this 0.01 and this is going to be 0.5, and then that is going to go out to the engine. So if we update that, let's just save this. All right, so what do we got here? We have our heat. I guess I should get a couple of dials here. This is what tells us how stable our engine is, right? We need to measure the heat, and we need to look at the RPS, right? If we're overheating, that means we're over throttling the engine, and we need to correct that. If we're, you know what I mean? That's all that means. Okay, so this goes to the function block and then directly to the air, and then we bring our RPS into there, and that should be it. What do we have? RPS in. We may as well use the same node. And then engine speed, this is going to be our custom. This is going to be our custom. If we compare that to now, we need all of that. The clutch, I think everything was hooked up, right? Clutch is hooked up, that's hooked up, that's hooked up. Now the last thing I need to do is bring the composite in from here. All right, now let's save this, spawn it in. See how it goes. I got my sidekick. He's in the truck. The truck is out back there. I just filled it up again, and then as I was coming back, I was like, you know what, let's do this. All right, so if we set our custom RPS to 20, and we start this up, it should crank to 20 and stop. There, you see that? Oh, that's perfect. And now if we crank up, there's no real resistance on this, right? Like, we're not in the water. But as you can see, if I started cranking the RPS on that, what would happen? The engine would throttle down, and then I would have to adjust this, right? 30, 40, 50 on a scale between 0 and 1, 0.10, 0.12, 0.20, 0.30. You know, you get the idea, right? We have to find the percentage of clutch, the percentage of engine throttle. But this way, we just type in the desired engine throttle, and it'll throttle up. Now, I have the throttle set to half, the engine throttle set to 0.5, so we might not actually be able to get to 60 RPS. Let's say if we were in, like, if this was a race car, I know there's the F1 series there and stuff like that, so I'm just saying, like, if this was a race car or something, you obviously have to tweak that up-down value. Now, why did I change it to half instead of 1? We see what's happening right now? You see that up, down, okay? My concern was if I allowed this to go to full throttle, we'll just save it at full throttle. My worry was that it would be bouncing. So when you see the ship and you see the truck, right? I'm able to get reasonably close to 20 RPS, 30 RPS, 40 RPS, 10 RPS. And it'll idle in that range quite well. It won't fluctuate, right? It won't, you know, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 10, something like that. So, and my worry here was that if I let the up-down counter go full, see how fast we're cranking? Right now it's going to slow down. I didn't really test this part, but my thoughts were that it would crank up and down too fast. But obviously that's not the case. So I could still go with a full number, and that's probably what I'm going to do actually is I'll tweak the ship so I can go a little bit faster, right? But as you saw, at half throttle, 50% throttle, and 50% clutch, my RPS was sitting at about 18 and a half, 19, and it wasn't going above that. So that tells me that that's my ideal, that's where the engine is at its best, right? We have our best speed and we have our best fuel consumption. It's basically how I have that set up, right? That's how I do all my vehicles. People are wondering, why do you just press a button and go? Some are slow, some are fast. That's why. They're just set up to be push a button, go, ideal our fuel consumption, nothing too great. Because if I crank this up to 60, my fuel consumption just goes out the window, right? And then we start having problems where, you know, instead of being able to go 60 kilometers as our maximum range, we can only go 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers. And instead of being able to make 30,000 selling oil, now you're only making 5,000 selling oil, right? So there's big differences when you start to bring that in. Yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to throw this out here, just put this video out here, just to show the LUA. Here, let's take a look at the LUA one more time. It's really simple, and you know, with Stormworks and Stormworks LUA, this is like peak Stormworks LUA, right? This is as simple as it gets. True and false, on and off, right? Read number, change number, output number. That's LUA. Read on off, decipher on off, output on off. That's it. That's what you're programming. You're receiving a signal, you're telling the signal what to do, and then you're outputting the difference. And that's it, right? So the code doesn't need to be super fancy. It doesn't need to be like if this, then that, this variable X, Y, and Z. Like when you get into the radar, it's not really complicated, but it's just the variables and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, it's that easy. There's your RPS, there's your custom RPS. Now, what I was thinking is that I could probably expand on this, you know, and you could use it for lots of things. The heating, I know there's like the transfer ducts that do water to air, and they transfer that heat between them and stuff. So maybe you could use something like this with the pumps. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. There you have it. Let's go to the last thing. Is this engine stable? And 139, okay, good. Is this engine stable? And actually it is. With these radiators, and I noticed with the 5x5s as well. If you have one 5x5 radiator on this side and one 5x5 radiator on this side, you're golden, and it'll keep that cylinder stable. So yeah, so we can crank this up here. Let's just set it back to 20 RPS here. And you'll see it'll start up And then, of course, the heat goes because it's not, look at that, it's instantly stable. It's instantly, now there's nothing, we're just idling, right? But the fact that it's instantly stable and we're idling, I've had many cases where I've been worried that I'm going to overheat too quickly, right? So we set it up to 60 RPS, it's going to crank up, right? Whoa, right? You see how slowly that's going up? And now there's no resistance on the engine. I get that, right? Now I can't go near that, or it'll chop me to bits. But I just wanted to show here that it'll rise, but it'll rest at around 70 or 80. You know, we're not to the point where we're gonna be overheating here. Yeah, that's perfect. So there it is. 3x3 engine, stable. The ship that I have has 2 of these. Just like this, it has 2 of these 3x3 in there. So yeah, that's it. All right, let's return this to the workbench. Let it be all slow and whatever it's gonna do here. It does speed up, and you know what? In Stormworks defense, when I'm not recording, I can turn the game on ultra and I'm still getting like 180 FPS. So, you know, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. Yeah, so this is the truck here. This is load number 2. It's ready to go. I'll probably do this on my own later on tonight. And then that will put us in, what, in the ballpark, about 100,000 ballpark? Something like that. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. We'll see what the next major step is in Stormworks. I mean, this pretty much takes care of, we've got minerals, we've done oil. I do have enough to unlock, oops. I do have enough to unlock helicopters. So I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll unlock helicopters again. And go from there. Alrighty. Yeah, so this thing is cranking. Absolutely cranking. Nice. Yeah, this will be round number 2. I might do 2 or 3 of these over the next couple of days. We'll see. Like I say, I want to drain, but the plan is to drain the well and advance from there. But things are just going so good. Ooh, and I don't want to deploy in there. Look at the, I might wait for the storm to actually just blow by before I, yeah. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I can launch in there, and then what I've done is, because I haven't packed this vehicle up, I still have these. So I can just directly connect to these and get the boat launched. Yeah, right on. I love it. Absolutely love it. Things are coming along. Finally. We're making advances. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you all in the next one.